Greetings, everyone. I'm Richard Chambers, President and CEO of the Institute of Internal Auditors. Thank you for joining us today. I plan to do a series of conversations with leaders and thought leaders from the internal audit profession around the world. And the purpose of these conversations is to share important insights and information about how the internal audit profession is navigating the COVID-19 crisis. I'm joined today by two of our distinguished colleagues from the II Global Headquarters. I have with me Harold Sliverman, who's our Managing Director of CA Solutions. Harold was previously the Vice President of Internal Audit at the Wendy's Company, and prior to that, he was the Vice President of Internal Audit at HMH Publishing Company. Before that, Harold served as a Senior Manager of Internal Audit at Raytheon. Also joined by Tim Berichon, who is the Director of CA Services for the IIA. Tim also comes with a very distinguished background in internal audit. He was formerly the Chief Audit Executive of two globally publicly traded manufacturing companies. Prior to those CA positions, he served as a Senior Director of Internal Audit, Forensics, and Enterprise Risk at Tyco. Guys, welcome. Thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you, Richard. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Richard. Good to be here. Thank you.
You know, one of the reasons I wanted to have this conversation with you, you've both been at the forefront of the IA's COVID-19 response for the profession over the last few weeks and have been really architects of a lot of great information. In fact, I would argue that you're the principal architects of the IA's COVID-19 resource exchange, and you're doing a lot of great research and thought leadership for the profession. One of the things that you guys have been doing is publishing a series of quick polls, quick surveys to get an idea of what is happening in the internal audit profession and how chief audit executives are coping with and dealing with this crisis and leading their internal audit organizations. Harold, what are the objectives of these flash surveys or these quick poll responses that you guys have been publishing?
Thanks, Richard. Yeah, what we're really trying to do is take a pulse of the internal audit profession across North America and get some perspectives for globally. What the impact of the current crisis has been directly on internal audit. So we've put these out. It has gone out to leaders across North America in the internal audit profession, and we have gotten tremendous response. So our real hope is that internal auditors, regardless of their level, whether they be leaders in their functions or staff or managers, are able to get a benchmark of what their internal audit function is being impacted, what they're doing compared to others, as particularly at the industry level. So we've seen major differences across industries, and it allows them to get a benchmark of what they're doing.
Well, I think that these have been well received so far, and you guys just published the results of your second quick poll earlier last week. Tim, what was the overall conclusion of that quick poll number 2 that you guys did?
Yeah, great response from everyone. Thank you. Over 400 responses on that quick poll 2. Well, Richard, if I was in an elevator with you, I'd give you 3 or 4 bullets, one of which is really good news. We're really seeing internal audit leaders and functions really stepping up and helping their enterprises. They're being very flexible, very agile, as we say, and very creative as well. And they're really just helping out and realizing that they can be independent and help. We're seeing some strain from a budget and staffing perspective, but especially outside of financial services, consumer facing especially, just like the business industries are getting hit, internal audit teams are also getting hit. So in some ways, internal audit is being asked to do the same or more with maybe less.
Well, that's interesting news. By the way, if we were on that elevator together, we'd have to be social distancing. Harold, what surprised you in terms of the good news that came out of this poll?
Yeah, to Tim's point earlier, we were very, very pleasantly surprised to see how much internal audit functions are demonstrating agility and flexibility. I mean, to give an example, over half of internal audit functions that responded have already updated their risk assessment as a result of COVID-19. 3/4 of those functions have updated their audit plans, and a third of the functions have reassigned work to be done outside of the normal internal audit work to really help their functions survive and thrive and adjust to the new normal of the current crisis.
Good, great insights. Tim, what would you say are the clouds that are on the horizon? What came out of this second quick poll that maybe gives you a little bit of concern as far as what may be happening or what might be happening to the internal audit profession?
And I think the good news is, as far as the cloud, maybe it's just partly cloudy, because a bit of sunshine is, again, the relevance that's happening. As you talked about, Richard, really, I've been listening to you for a while. For many years, you've been saying, hey, we need to stay relevant and valuable so that when a recession hits, and here we are, so you predicted it, we're going to maintain our budgets. And again, outside of a couple industries, we're seeing more maintaining than decrease. But a bit of warnings that we need to stay relevant at this level. Our budgets are being looked at like anybody else's budget, and we're seeing that hit. What I'm hearing from CAEs just in our daily conversations, in addition to the quick poll, is how will this be after the crisis? So they're starting to think about the third phase of crisis management, which is coming out of the crisis and the learnings, and how much of this, not unnormal, if you will, or abnormal, will become the new normal going forward. But I think a lot of audit functions are learning that they can operate more remotely and very productively, actually.
Wow, great insights again from both of you. I would encourage our viewers to check out the IA's COVID-19 Resource Exchange. You also might want to keep your eye open, because these guys are going to be doing a webinar next Monday. And I would encourage you to sign up for and listen to a more in-depth conversation around the results of this most recent quick poll that the IA has undertaken. Harold, Tim, thank you both. Thank you for what you're doing, and thank you for taking time to be with us here today. We look forward to seeing a lot of great additional insight from you and your colleagues at the IA Global Headquarters.
Thank you for your leadership, Richard.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you. I'm Richard Chambers, President and CEO of the Institute of Internal Auditors. Thank you.